Welcome to Your Boo Handbook, a guide to help you enjoy Halloween all year long. Our first episode of 2020. It's been a while, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't really been keeping up with this podcast at all. We've been pretty busy, and plus with
the coronavirus.
It's a good time to start doing that. Pick it up again.
We wanted to give you guys some things to look for on your streaming devices. We've had some friends request us to share our favorites that are currently streaming, so we stuck to the three main streaming services: Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu.
Yeah, it's basically what everyone has. We have basically like our top picks for movies and shows from both of them, although we're not really much into shows on all of the platforms, but we do have a few that we want to share.
And some honorable mentions that aren't horror. Of
Right.
course, we're going to kind of stick to the horror, thriller, maybe even a little more sci-fi genre, but
Well, there tends to be a lot of that, I think. So that's probably the reason why.
lots of overlap.
Yeah, I mean, that's especially Netflix. They have all their stuff is so sci-fi related.
And some of the movies are on more than one platform, so we'll let you know if it's on.
Well, I
One or
mean,
the other or
this might change as soon as we release this episode. So
Oh, God.
be wary and always look ahead of time, because we won't guarantee anything, I guess. But first things first, I think we do have a needed update for a particular thing that Sam loves. Can you go ahead with that?
HHN. I mean, they started with discussing the speculation map, so at this point it's just all speculation and rumors. They haven't really announced any hard...
Who's they?
People who are friends with the insiders, I think. So they did release the map. Dan actually sent it to me today, and we were talking about it a little bit. It does include Candyman, because they're remaking that. So we do mention Candyman in our episode today. Later we will. Haunting of Hill House, which is a Netflix original show. The Bride of Frankenstein, which to me, she was barely even in her movie. You know what I mean? Like, if it's that movie, she was only in it for like 5 minutes. And then The Conjuring, which has been rumored for a long time. Child's Play, which I would wonder if it would be like more of the new one versus the old one. And then Gremlins. And then, of course, the other things are just originals.
Yeah.
But that's all speculation, so don't know anything yet. As soon as any announcements happen, I definitely plan on watching everything again this year.
So I guess there won't be what was that one called? What was the one with the strobe lights and the monkeys?
Dead Exposure, Patient Zero from a few years ago?
Yeah, there won't be a sequel to that this year, probably.
Well, that was a sequel from like 5 years ago. I'm hoping they do some sort of 30 Years of Mayhem house, because
I mean, are you not thinking about the current situation?
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, that's probably why.
30 Years of Mayhem?
No, are you not?
Why they won't do Dead Exposure?
Because there's a pandemic.
Well, they just did that one recently too, so.
I know, but it was a good one. It was a successful one.
Yeah.
So there are no updates. Well, no,
Not
nothing
officially.
Nothing confirmed.
I mean, it starts on September 6th, which is... Well, no. It starts September 12th. Wait. Oh, no. I don't remember. I think the 12th.
You think the 12th? I thought you were
It's the
some sort of
Friday
expert.
after Brittany's wedding, so Labor Day is the 7th.
Is it the weekend after that?
Yeah. So September 12th.
Does it open on a Wednesday or a Thursday?
Well, that's the other problem. Yeah, I think it's actually the 11th. I don't remember. Here, you're going to edit all that out, right?
Yeah, some of it.
Okay. Yeah, it starts September 10th, which is a Thursday.
Yes.
Throwing off my groove. Just starting on a Thursday, opening weekend being 4 nights. And I'm sure they're doing that because of just Labor Day being later.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, well, let's jump into this. I guess we can kind of switch off and talk about the some of the stuff we like. We can start off with Netflix. What's on Netflix? Do you want to go ahead?
I'll start with the movies on Netflix that we really enjoy.
Sure.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil is such a great one. It's a horror comedy, and it's like top movies for us in general. I don't want to give too much away, but it has like Wrong Turn vibes, and it's kind of a parody.
Yeah. This is well, no spoilers. First of all, we're just gonna give like a little brief blurb of the movies and kind of why we like them, and shows as well.
The next one.
Do you want to? I mean, just run through the movies. It's fine.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, just run through the movies.
Oh, okay. Hush is a great twist on the home invasion. And then The Ritual is about a group of friends. They go into a forest and then something haunts them. Stonehurst Asylum is one we haven't seen in a while, but it's a super entertaining thriller drama. It takes place in the late 1800s. The Perfection.
I don't think so. I think it takes place in like
1890s.
Stonehurst Asylum.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
That's what I looked up. It's what it says in the movie description. Here, I'll look it up again.
Wait, is that the one with Leo DiCaprio?
No.
Oh, never mind.
It's the one with Kate Beckinsale and the guy from Across the Universe.
What's the one I'm thinking of?
Shutter Island.
Oh, never mind. Go on.
Never mind.
No, stop texting. Go on.
No, I'm looking it up. Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
1899.
Doesn't matter. I was
Young
wrong.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. And then The Perfection is a new Netflix original movie that we just watched last week. It has the same actress, Allison Williams from Get Out, which was a favorite movie of ours from Jordan Peele in 2017. And I enjoyed it. We watched it with friends online since, we're all socially
There was a lot
distancing.
of like, wait, what? Moments in that movie. Mm-hmm. A lot of unexpected, I think, twists in the very different movie from what it appeared, at least within the first like half hour. Then it just like kind of like abruptly changes. And you're just like, what is happening?
It was pretty good. And then to go along with the Netflix originals, Secret Obsession is more of a thriller. It has Brenda Song, and it has my guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 2003, Mike Vogel, where she's injured and doesn't remember her life, and then he helps her remember. And then the other Netflix original is Velvet Buzzsaw with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's about these art galleries and just art in general, and then the art hunts them.
It's almost like a possessed art, an artist, I guess. What was it in that movie? Like the art pieces come to life and then they like kill people. It's kind of cool.
It's very artsy, obviously.
And it's set in Miami too, or a lot of it is set in Miami.
And then Colonia, we watched that a few years ago too. It's definitely like a thriller. Emma Watson tries to help her boyfriend escape a Chilean prison camp. It's based on a true story, so it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
And then Circle it has the formula of like my favorite type of horror where it's just like in chronological time. Like you're experiencing it like with the characters.
In real time.
Okay, yeah. It's in real time. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Well, it's also like one of those movies that's like a death game, like you don't know, like people are
So they're basically like abducted. They wake up, they're all standing in a circle and they don't know why. And then they start being killed and they have to figure out how to survive and what to do. So it's pretty interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Tao is another Netflix original, which is more sci-fi. It's about this woman who's also abducted. We obviously like abduction movies, or I do, I guess. She's abducted and held captive by an AI inventor, and her only ally might be the AI. So it was pretty cool. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I've seen it twice now.
Thumbs down for me on that one.
I enjoy it. But it has your girl. Isn't that the girl from your movies?
I don't care about that.
Oh, It Follows. You don't like actors and actresses?
Not really.
Oh. Well, obviously we had to throw out Insidious because, most of us have probably seen it by now, but it's really good and it's on Netflix right now.
Is it the first one or all of them?
At this point, I only saw the first one on there. I didn't go deeper.
Okay.
Candyman from 1992 is on there. I do recommend watching it, especially since it has been rumored to be at HHN this year. We just watched it last week. I enjoyed it. It was pretty creepy.
Yeah. It's definitely like one of those ones from its period. It's
her hair just distracted me.
It's still pretty good. Yeah, I would say it's still pretty good.
Yeah. And then The Green Room is one of those movies where I barely breathed. I had to remember to take breaths because it's so intense.
Yeah, Captain Picard is a Nazi and a punk band gets trapped at his bar. It's pretty good.
It's so intense. It has the girl from Arrested Development and the actor who died.
Yeah, he was also in the newer Star Trek movies. I forgot his name.
Dang.
I'll come up. Oh, let me.
Thomas? Is his name Thomas something?
No, that's it.
He was also in Life After Beth.
Well,
No. It was the other one.
that was the other one.
With the vampire girl from
His name.
Ashley Greene. Is his name Thomas?
No, that's the movie, but that movie was based on the book.
He has an odd name.
He's
It's
Russian.
hard for me to remember.
He's Russian.
Green Room is super intense, totally worth watching. It is gory.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered.
He got crushed by his Jeep.
when he was getting the mail on his driveway.
Yeah, so there was like a recall on those Jeeps too.
That's so
Apparently,
sad.
you put it at the park and it would dislodge and just go into neutral or something like that, and
Yeah,
just
he was so young.
he got crushed.
Great actor though, great movie for him, and it was very, very intense. It's called The Green Room. And then The Witch
The
was
Vich.
Yeah, you deleted the two V's and added a W. It's the V's.
I know it's the V's, but you don't pronounce it with V's.
The Vich.
The Vich.
Saw that in theaters with my sister. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's a period piece set in like New England, and of course The Witch is in the wood.
Well, it's set in like the 1600s, and basically a family gets exiled from like their sort of encampment of some sort.
Well, their
like
church, their town.
Well, that's what I mean. It's basically an encampment with like an old style like colony, and they're hyper religious, and there's like creepy twins. There's goats. It's very creepy overall.
You definitely won't look at goats the same way again.
Philip.
And then I forgot that Chernobyl Diaries is on Netflix. That one I do enjoy.
Yeah, that's a
Jesse McCartney's pretty good in it.
Mm-hmm.
Very creepy. Vacationers take an illegal tour near Chernobyl and things start happening.
yeah.
Amityville Horror. Fonzie, I have not seen the original Amityville Horror, but the remake on there from like the mid 2000s with Ryan Reynolds is currently on Netflix.
I don't like the premise of these movies.
The Possession.
No, I just don't like them. I don't think they're entertaining.
Yeah. And then this is kind of like an honorable mention. It is kind of horror because it is like a monster. Tremors.
Yeah, sure. Why
With
not?
Kevin Bacon, and he's just fighting large underground monsters. So it's a movie that makes me laugh. It freaks you out.
Oh, it's great.
It's intense. There's thriller moments, of course. So you can talk about the shows on Netflix.
Yeah. So we've seen Ozark seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 just premiered, and we haven't gotten started watching that, but we will start soon. And we've loved every single episode we've seen, so we're really excited to start that one. We have a few other shows to get through before we, I think, start Ozark, though, season 3.
Jason Bateman, all the way. He's my favorite.
Yeah, no. Another one we really enjoy actually is The Rain, and it's funny because a lot of the stuff is kind of like semi post-apocalyptic, and that's like actually a theme in the next couple of ones too. So The Rain is a Danish TV show where basically like literally there is a plague unleashed and people are running away and have to hide whenever it rains because that's how it's spread. So it's like it's pretty cool how that story develops, and it's basically like a few under 30s essentially just running away from either other people or just trying to find shelter. Dark is a German sci-fi time travel show.
Side note real quick.
What?
Some of these, or most of these, you can watch dubbed. However, we choose to watch it with English subtitles.
Oh, way to sound so like, oh, I can read while I'm watching TV.
Well, like, I enjoy the actors with their normal voices. You hear their inflection. It's happening in, like, it just makes sense. So it's fun to watch foreign films and foreign
these
shows.
however you feel is most entertaining.
Right. So I'm letting you know that even though it's Danish, even though it's German, there is English dubbing options. Just letting you know.
I think that was kind of understood, I would feel like.
Yeah. Well, our one friend, Will, when he watched The Rain, he didn't even know that it was dubbed for like
Yeah, the
3
dubbing
or 7 episodes.
I've heard that the dubbing on Netflix is really, really good, but I guess maybe I don't know. We don't mind the subtitles. I grew up in Peru, so I'm used to the subtitles in like all the movies. So Dark is a time travel show with basically a bunch of interconnected storylines of all these people in the same town, and it deals with like the children of the parents who were also children in the prior it's like 30-year cycles. It's kind of like this time loop thing. It's a really cool concept, but it's extremely confusing.
It's a little deep. I had to actually
There's like
research the synopsis before we started the next season.
There's 3 actors for every character because you're looking at them as their children, as they're middle-aged, as they're like old. So it's pretty interesting. Another show that we really enjoy is called 3%.
3%.
3%. And Joanna.
Raphael. We're just going to name all their characters.
Raphael. What was the... Okay, never mind.
Ezekiel.
So that's a Brazilian show set in kind of like a dystopic future. And these...
It's one of my favorite shows.
It's like there's a poor inland settlement that's like this massive, like just like horrible, ugly city in the middle of like it looks like it's a desert basically. Mm-hmm. And every year, these people who had just turned 20 go through like these trials to try to get to this like offshore island, and the offshore island is like this utopic sort of paradise where everything is plentiful, people live long lives, everything is peaceful, and there's like ample technology, and it's the exact opposite back home. So that's a really cool one.
It's 3 seasons on Netflix now.
Yeah, and actually 3% was just renewed for fourth and final season.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, so like what's cool is that a lot of these shows are fairly like short, so they're kind of easy to like go through, and they don't drag on, and like the stories don't get stale.
I think that's why I like the way that like even Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, it's like 10 episodes a season. Like it's like reasonable.
Yeah.
No offense to like Vampire Diaries, One Tree Hill. It's like
no, highly
24
I'm
episodes, but it's different.
I want to offend those
because it used to be like every week for all of fall, and then every week for all of like spring. So that's how it would become. Even The Walking Dead, like being 24 episodes, it's like, oh my God, this is so long.
Yeah, there was like 12 or 13 before December break, basically, and then another second half of the season after that.
Which brings me into, I'm going to talk about this show because it's one of my favorites, Bates Motel. It's a nice, short, sweet series. It's got 5 seasons, 10 episodes each season. So like I said, completely reasonable, very doable. I recently read Psycho, and we watched Psycho for our Valentine's Day horror movie this year, and seeing the prequel, which is Bates Motel, like both actors in it are phenomenal. And honestly, if you want to skip some of it and just watch season 1 and then skip to like the last episode of season 4 and then watch season 5, like season 5, just like every episode just blew me away. Like the story was just so good.
Yeah, so Santa Clarita Diet was one of our favorite shows. We actually discovered it on our honeymoon, and we watched the whole thing in a single...
all of season 1.
Well, yeah, of course. We watched the whole thing, the all of season 1 in a single weekend, and that was tons of fun. But yeah, it's Timothy Olyphant, who has like a great stage presence. He's got like this great like nervous laughter grin they make fun of actively in the show, and he's basically trying to help his wife, who's played by Drew Barrymore, trying to adapt to being a zombie real estate agent, essentially, or like a flesh-eating, human-eating real estate agent.
That's a show I cannot watch while eating. It's very gory. It's also funny.
It's very funny.
It's good, and they ended it at 3 seasons, so
yeah,
all seasons are on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime movies. I have not seen that one, so you can talk about that one.
You haven't seen Sleepy Hollow?
I've never seen it.
I've tried to get you to watch it then.
Guess we got to, because it's on our list.
Well, I mean, it's just like a Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci movie, and it's sort of like a detective murder mystery, but with like an element of fantasy, obviously. Christopher Walken plays the Hessian, actually. And it's pretty good. I think it's a Tim Burton movie. Jim Burton. Who the fuck is that?
You're thinking of Jim Henson, The Muppets, maybe?
I don't think I was thinking about The Muppets.
Maybe you were.
No.
Hereditary. Is it witchcraft or mental illness? You're so funny.
I mean, that's basically the premise of the movie.
It's intense. It's an intense one. And then Midsummer, same director.
I don't know what his name is.
Oh, no, it's fine. Asshole friends meet their collective end in drugs, sex, and fire.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all you need to know about that one. That's a long one.
It's
Definitely
very
buckle in.
I mean, both Hereditary and Midsommar are very like visually interesting movies. So they're kind of weird for sure.
They're both a little gory too.
Yes, yeah,
Like not a lot of gore, but when it's gory, it's pretty gory.
yeah.
And then Rosemary's Baby
Hail Satan!
was another Valentine's movie that we watched a few years back. For those of you that don't know, our Valentine's tradition is to watch a classic horror movie that we either haven't seen at all or haven't seen in a while. And we get cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory and we sit at home and watch a horror movie. So we watched that one a few years back. It's also on Netflix, so it's on Amazon Prime and Netflix, but it's a horror classic for sure. I can't talk about the next one. It's too intense. It's too intense. I can't do it.
Overlord is basically a Castle Wolfenstein-esque gory action movie with demonic mutants. I mean, it's basically like American soldiers come across this small town and find that Nazis are doing experimentation with like the occult, and then have to fight their way through and
So is
destroy it.
the movie is Inception, where it's like a dream within a dream?
No.
No, wait, isn't that what Inception's about?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So this movie, to me, Overlord, is like horror within a horror within a horror. Like it just like keeps
Yeah,
getting
there's like body horror, there's monster horror, there's gory.
war horror.
It's super gory.
Oh my god! And this is one of those movies where I just like couldn't breathe. Sometimes, again, I have a problem where I just don't breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the next one, The Crazies with Timothy Olyphant.
I don't remember
again.
this one.
I own it, but it's on Amazon Prime right now. Basically, something's going wrong in the town and people are literally going crazy and they just start killing people. And they end up getting evacuated and they have to find each other. And Timothy Olyphant is like the sheriff, so he's kind of like the main character and we follow his story. So that's a good one. The Collector is also a good one. It's pretty intense. It kind of has like two different aspects to it. There is a sequel to it called The Collection, but it says it's on Hulu with a subscription, but I didn't see it on there, so I don't know if that's like with HBO or something else. And then Child's Play is really, really great. Why don't you just take over?
No, just keep going. You sound like you're thirsty too.
My lips are so dry.
They're burnt. They're not just dry, they're burnt.
I know they hurt. So Child's Play 1988, so the original one. It's also on Netflix right now. It's a classic. I'm sure most of you have seen it, but it's on there in case you haven't seen it. And then, gosh, Train to Busan, man.
Zombies on a Train.
This is like, became my instant favorite zombie movie.
It's really cool. They're like the fast running zombies as opposed to slow ones from like Dawn of the Dead. And it's just great. The acting's great. I mean,
This movie kind of follows it in real time, too.
It's in Korean, so you can do subtitles, or you can just do the dubbing. Who knows?
I don't know about the dubbing for this one.
Yeah.
It's great. It's also on Netflix, so it's on Amazon Prime and Netflix. And then Suspiria is something that we did watch last year. It's an Amazon Prime original, is it?
It's super long. No, well, yeah, I think it's an Amazon Prime original. It's based on a 1972 movie or something like that, but it's basically a super long story about a coven.
Well, it's like she goes to the dance studio and then...
But that's, I mean...
Yeah. But we actually watched it in 2 nights. We couldn't watch it all in one night.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 hours long. It's crazy.
It's 2.5. A little longer than Midsummer.
Oh, I felt a lot longer than that.
Maybe it was close to 3 hours. I don't remember.
I think it was closer to 3 hours.
There's no way we could watch it in one sitting.
Yeah.
The show's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so right now we're still in the towards the tail end of season 4 of The Man in the High Castle, which is a really fantastic show. I think the low point of the series though was season 3, and I feel like season 4 has like really picked it up because like sort of they've made the stakes like more real. And we're seeing it's basically about a new rebel group that actually manages to achieve something, whereas the other resistance fighters kind of like floundered and did nothing and puttered out.
A lot of you have probably heard of this show. It's the one where it's like an alternate universe where the Nazis and Japanese won World War II.
Yeah.
And it's a great show, but it's another one that I just can't binge. It's very intense. I forget to breathe again with this one. It's very intense, but it's really, really good. And then for Hulu, movies, this is one of your favorites.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's just super fun and kind of a twist on that on the horror genre. I think it kind of inverts it. Or
It's also on Prime right
subverts it.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great one. And it was also featured at Halloween Horror Nights. And you missed it because it was
Yeah.
2013 and you would have loved it. It was such a good house.
Oh well. Anna and the Apocalypse is a newer movie that where we saw it for the first time, I think, in November, and it's really one of those that's that kind of sticks in your head because it has all these it has all these catchy songs because it's a Christmas zombie musical.
It's so unique. It's so amazing. And I bought the soundtrack. We've seen it 3 times since November. We watched it with our friends Tiffany and Brad. Recently, I want to watch it again for sure. We even put it on when we were doing yard work. We were just singing songs from Anna and the Apocalypse. It's amazing.
Yeah. A Simple Favor is another good movie. It's a thriller based on a book. Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. And according to Sam, the movie is better than the book.
I enjoyed it. We went to see it in theaters as a date night, and then I bought the book. And then when I read the book, I wanted to watch the movie again. So it's really good.
Next movie is The Descent. It's also on Prime, and it is one of those terrifying movies. I think it came out in 2004. I feel like I've seen the sequel, but I don't really remember it. We saw The Descent fairly recently, probably within the last year, right?
I think we did see the second one because now that I'm remembering it, it's like the one person is in it again, sharing what happened in the first one.
Yeah, I don't remember it being as good as the first one. The first one's very, very scary.
So intense.
It's very cool.
I mean, there's been talk of it being featured at HHN, not as an official rumor, but just as like a fan favorite.
Yeah. Next one is also on Prime, and it's called Texas Chainsaw. I don't know this one.
So that was the one that was in 3D.
Oh, so it must be 100% bad.
It's not 100% bad. It's just like,
99%.
65% bad, maybe. It's part of my favorite franchise. Leatherface comes back,
Yeah.
and it makes more sense than the movie Leatherface did. So I would say it's like my top 3 Texas Chainsaw Massacre newer movies, not including the original.
Right.
And then one of our friends' favorites is Oculus, and that is on Hulu right now. It is super creepy. It's the first horror movie that I ever watched by myself in my room with nobody. It was pretty creepy. And there are mirrors everywhere, so.
I should probably watch that because there's like the mirror kind of like entrances everyone, and they only come to, and there might be like rooms away or doing something that's like they're about to kill themselves or kill each other, right? It's kind of weird. It's
creepy. It's like you become haunted through the mirror kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then as far as shows on Hulu, we don't really watch any shows on Hulu, but I've been wanting to watch some shows on Hulu. I know a lot of people talk about Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if that's horror or not.
Nah, it's probably like it's a dystopic like drama.
Yeah, the Purge series is on there, which I've been wanting to watch. Castle Rock is Stephen King combining like Misery and other universes of his. What We Do in the Shadows was obviously a great movie, so I think we would like the series too. That's on Hulu now. The Good Doctor is not horror, but it is something I want to watch because it's the same guy from Bates Motel, Freddie Highmore. Movies that we want to watch on Hulu, Terminal is one that Alex recommended. And I just found out the original Hunchback of Notre Dame is on there. So,
is that a silent movie or?
I don't know, but it's from 1923, and it would be pretty epic to watch
It's 100 years old.
So we obviously saw Hunchback at the Universal Monsters house last year, so it'd be cool to see him on the big screen, even if it is in our family room.
True.
Pet Sematary, the new one from 2019, I haven't seen that one.
Probably terrible.
It is also on Prime, and then The Prodigy I also haven't seen, and that's also on Prime. And with our friends we've been doing virtual movie nights, so it's been kind of fun. We've been using Google Hangouts. It's like a really, really great app to actually be able to hear everybody, see everybody, and then just tune in and we just hit play on Netflix is what we've used so far. But on Prime, there is a movie called The Velocipastor. And yes, he turns into a dinosaur and he's a priest of some kind. So I think that sounds like something hilarious that we could all just drink and make fun of the whole time.
Yeah, it's definitely something we can watch.
Movies on Netflix that are like honorable mentions that aren't super horror would be Ex
Machina.
I always say it wrong. Some people say Ex Machina.
Well, it's wrong.
Ex Machina is like definitely one of our top movies, like go to. Oh my God, I just love it. It's so good. I don't want to give too much away, but it's about AI AI intelligence that's repetitive or redundant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's about an AI.
Yes.
And we'll just leave it at that. It's got my formula with having like less than 10 actors or actresses in the movie.
There's probably only like 4.
Yeah. Main characters, yeah. And then on Netflix, I still haven't seen The Craft. The Bye Bye Man's on there. The Forest. The original Wicker Man. And then whatever you do, do not watch Tusk on Netflix. I have seen it on lots of lists as far as horror to watch. Don't do it. Justin Long failed me. I'm a big Justin Long fan.
It's also a Kevin Smith movie, but it's really, really bad.
I mean, Justin Long did Jeepers Creepers, Dodgeball, Accepted. He's a guy that I love. He's one of my favorites. He was in Waiting, of course. We all know and love Justin Long, but do not trust him with this movie. It's like Mark Wahlberg doing that stupid one, The Happening, where the lawnmower...
It's just trees.
The person just jumps in front of the lawnmower and gets murdered. It's
it's pretty
bizarre.
funny, yeah.
I can't believe I saw that in theaters. So disappointing.
What was that one Alien movie where Nicole Kidman was in and people also jump off the buildings?
Alien? I don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah, it wasn't called Alien.
No, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like abduction, or it has like some name, or The Invasion, or something like that. Daniel Craig's also in it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I've seen it.
But I feel like those movies...
Does their son get captured?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know.
I just remember there being like sort of similar things that happened between those two movies. Almost like it was a theme. Anything else? No?
I don't think so. Let us know if you guys have any suggestions, anything that's on there. Obviously, we're recording this on March 30th, so tomorrow is April 1st, but I didn't see the...
March is 31 days.
Oh, that's right. I'm acting like April. Ludgate. All the meetings are on March 31st. Okay. Go watch Parks and Rec tomorrow. Watch the episode called 99 Meetings.
99 meetings.
March 31st.
I wonder what season it's in. It's probably like 3 or 4.
It's literally called 99 Meetings, and April schedules all of Ron's meetings on March 31st because she thought that day didn't exist, just like how I didn't think that it existed. So, obviously, Parks and Rec is a really great show, too, but it has a lot of episodes, but they're fast episodes.
Well, yeah, let us know in the comments. Email us at yourboohandbook@gmail.com. We hope to hear from any and all of you, and we hope to get on a better schedule, releasing these a little bit more frequently, especially since we do have a lot of time together. And
do we?
We do have a
You're
lot of time.
working without me.
Well, I mean, I don't have to commute, my long commute.
Oh, yeah, you're an 8-minute commute.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll be speaking soon. We'll
talk to you soon. Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah.
Corona time.